Okay. So I noticed that a lot of you are having trouble getting to 60 on this T2. So I decided that I'm going to get on here and work problems until I get to 60. So maybe some of you can watch this and then it'll help you with your problems. Okay, so this is a cylinder and it wants me to find the surface area of this cylinder. So all I need to do is first type or write the formula for surface area of a cylinder. The surface area equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Okay? Now, I need to figure out my r and my h are. R is going to be your radius, which is from the outside of the circle to the center of the circle. So this right here is my radius, which they have said is 4. So my r is going to be 4. Okay? Your h is going to be how tall the cylinder is. Okay, so that right here is going to be 5. So my h is going to be 5. So then I plug everything in. 2, and it tells me right here to use 3.14 for pi. So I'm going to do 3.14 and then r squared, so that's going to be 4 squared. Bring down the plus, bring down the 2. Instead of pi, we're using 3.14, and my r is 4, and my h is 5. Okay, I am going to type this part into my calculator first. So 2 times 3.14 times 4 squared is going to give me 100.48. Okay, then I'm going to type in this part into my calculator. So 2 times 3.14 times 4 times 5. And that gives me 125.6. So then I add these two together, 100.48 plus 125.6, and that's going to equal 226.08. And this said nearest hundred, so 2 decimal places is okay. So now I'm going to type this in, 226.08. Wonderful. Okay. Erase all this. Let's see if I can figure out. There we go. Okay. So here's another cylinder, so I'm going to use the exact same formula. Surface area equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Okay? Now, what they gave me this time is from edge of the circle all the way to the other edge of the circle. I only need the radius, so I only need from here to the center, which would be half. If the whole thing is 18, 18 divided by 2 is going to be 9. So that means that just this part right here is 9. So my radius is 9. Okay, the height is going to be how tall it is. So from here to here, which is going to be 8. So my h is going to be 8. Okay, so then I'm going to plug everything in. Bring down the 2. Instead of pi, we're using 3.14. And then r squared is going to be 9 squared. Bring down the plus, bring down the 2. Instead of pi, we're using 3.14. My r is going to be 9, and my h is going to be 8. Okay, I'm going to type this part into the calculator first. 2 times 3.14 times 9 squared, and that gives me 508.68. Now I'm going to type this part into my calculator. 2 times 3.14 times 9 times 8. and that gives me 452.16. Now I'm going to add those two together. 508.68 plus 452 plus 1 or 0.16, and that gives me 960.84. Okay, so I'm going to enter that in just like it looks, 960.84. Enter, and wonderful. Okay, it's giving me another cylinder. I hope that does that for y'all too. That'll be easier. Do a bunch of them in a row. Okay, same formula. Surface area equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Okay, my r is going to be the diameter, so I need half of 12. Half of 12 is 6. So my r is going to be 6, and it's 4 meters tall. So my h is going to be 4. Bring down the 2, using 3.14 instead of pi. R squared is going to be 6 squared. Bring down the plus, bring down the 2. I'm going to use 3.14 instead of pi again. My R is 6. My H is 4. Okay, just plugged everything in. Type in this part into the calculator first. 2 times 3.14 times 6 squared. That's 226.08. Now I'm going to type this part into 2 times 3.14 times 6 times 4, and that is 150.72. Going to add those two together. 226.08 plus 150.72, and that gives me 376.8. So I'm going to type that in. 376.8. Okay, so now it's giving us a rectangular prism. Now, a rectangular prism is anything that looks like a box. Okay, so if it looks like a box, you're not going to use the same formula that you use for the cylinder. Okay, so we're going to use a different formula, and that formula is surface area equals 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. Okay? Now, it does not matter what we have as the length, what we have as the width, what we have as the height. One reason it doesn't matter is because all these are the same numbers. But even if these weren't all of the same numbers, it doesn't matter. You're using them the same amount of times, so it doesn't matter which one you put as the length, width, or height. Okay, so I'm just going to make this the length, this the width, this the height, and then I'm going to plug everything in. I'm going to bring down my 2, my length is 2, and my width is 2. Bring down the plus, bring down that 2, my length is 2, and my height is 2. Bring down the plus, bring down this 2, my width is 2, and my height was 2. So that was pretty easy. Now, just like earlier with the cylinder, I'm just going to type it in the calculator one part at a time. So 2 times 2 times 2 is going to be 8. That means this part's 8, this part's 8, and this part's 8. So then I'm going to add 8 plus 8 plus 8, and you get 24. So that means my answer is going to be 24. Okay, so now we've got another rectangular prism. It's a rectangular prism if it looks like a box. This looks just like a box. I'm going to use the same formula. Surface area equals 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. Okay? So like I said earlier, it doesn't matter which one's which. So I'm going to make this one length, this one width, this one height. Okay, so I'm going to bring the 2 down. My length is 19, and my width is 4. I got those numbers from over here. Bring down the plus, bring down the 2. My length is 19. My height is 10. Okay, and bring down this plus, bring down this 2. My width is 4, and my height is 10. And y'all, I just got those numbers from right over here. Okay, just like earlier, I'm going to do one part at a time. So I'm typing this in the calculator. 2 times 19 times 4. And that gives me 152. Now I'm going to type this part in the calculator. 2 times 19 times 10. That's going to give me 380. And then this last part I'm typing in the calculator. 2 times 4 times 10. And that's going to be 80. I'm going to add all of these together. 152 plus 380. Oh, hold on one second. Okay, 380 plus 80 is going to give me 612. That's what I type in the calculator, 612.